What's up, guys? Welcome to Far From Blake, and today we're going to be talking about Sleepaway Camp 2. Let's go! Okay, so I'm assuming if you saw Sleepaway Camp 2, you saw Sleepaway Camp 1. Both movies couldn't be further apart, completely different. The killer, although the character is supposedly the same, it's set much later in the future. You know, Sleepaway Camp was more about like younger kids, and then the killer in there eventually becomes an adult in this one. Spoilers: if you haven't seen Sleepaway Camp 1, you shouldn't be watching this video. Sleepaway Camp 2, there's no secret on who the killer is. You find out in the first 30 seconds of the movie, practically, and you could probably assume if you watch the first one. It's Angela. She's back, right? So it's all about Angela. She's the killer. It's played by a completely different actor this time, as an older person. The first movie, she's a camper, a quiet, not really saying anything. This one, she's, an adult, and she's a camp counselor who apparently, they decided it was okay to leave through therapy and all sorts of stuff after murdering, 30 plus people in the first movie. So, whatever. Yeah, so she's back, and she's a camp counselor, and she's a happy one. She apparently loves summer camp now. The whole first movie, didn't say a word, hated her time here. The second movie, she's all about being a happy camper and having a great time. Kinda. She loves being a camp counselor, and she doesn't want any of the campers participating in fornication, drugs, alcohol, anything that would deem her against her morals, right? So she basically says, okay, you do any of these things, you're dead. And that's the basic plot and premise of the movie. There's really nothing else to it. It's very campy, like the first movie, but not like the first movie. It's campy in a very cheap and generic 80s slashers kind of way. It goes more into that horror comedy. This movie's very self-aware. It knows what it is. Angela in this movie plays that role pretty well, played by the new actor in it. And they really go for it. And they don't look back for a second. One of the standouts in this movie, besides Angela, would be Allie. If you've seen the movie, you could probably assume why I'm saying that. She, had a lot to show, and a lot of character development, and, just, a good go-ahead attitude throughout the movie. So, like Sleepaway Camp 1, this was only my second time watching this movie. I watched the entire Sleepaway Camp original trilogy for the first time a year ago, and just rewatched it all now in 2023. So the thing is, so last year, Sleepaway Camp 2, I really, really, really loved. Like, a lot. This time, I still liked it, but I didn't love it the same. I don't know if it's just time passing. I've watched a lot of different movies since then. My movie palette has changed a lot to some degrees. I don't know. That's just the campy nature of it. That part wasn't even that bad. The kills weren't as amusing to me this time. I think last time I was so like I thought it was just so over the top the way Angela, and it's still charming in some degree that she just goes around doing everything, and she's like all like happy and talking. Oh, you should have did this. You shouldn't have done that. Blah, blah, blah. It's a very different approach and unique for a horror villain. But I don't know, this time maybe just not in the right mood or just wasn't ready to watch this movie. Kind of watched it back to back with the first one, and this time it just wasn't as fun today. Still good, like I still liked it, but it definitely, like, when I say like last year I loved it, I was like almost like in the 4.5 range. Now it's probably more in the 3.5 range out of 5. Uh, and that's only really because I like 80 slashers. But I almost wanted to put it at 4, but it just didn't do what it did for me last year. Maybe it's just now this time I knew what it was. Last year I was really shocked by how over the top it was. But, it still has lots of great moments and lots of great kills. Like I said, it does, the over the top nature is great, and there is a lot of different characters in here that, make you laugh in a way where it's like, how is nobody catching on to her shenanigans right now? It's like she's just sending home every kid left and right, and they're just disappearing, and nobody notices why, and they until really the end of the movie. One really cool thing in this movie, though, like I said, it's very fun and self-aware. They added, and I think that was the one thing that I loved about it because I wasn't expecting it the first time I watched it, is they kind of do a Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, and I believe Leatherface kind of tribute throughout the movie. This was a late 80s movie, so this is when all those horror icons were like, top tier and had multiple movies, and they were all over the place. That was their time to shine. And this movie kind of plays on that a little bit and includes little things in there. Had Freddy's glove, had a guy walking around with a machete with not Jason's hockey mask, but a hockey mask, which made you get the idea. And, someone with a chainsaw with the skin on the face for Leatherface. And yeah, so that was just something I appreciated in the movie both times I watched it. But I think the first time I watched it, I was probably like, oh my gosh, that's sick. I do like the character of Molly as well. She does play the innocent girl very well in this movie. I think you did need to have a girl like that when you have multiple other characters in this movie, especially Allie being over the top, promiscuous type girls. And then you have Angela, who's just not having any of that. So I do think they picked a good caricature with Molly in that aspect for the innocent girl in a world where almost nobody in this movie acts like that. Okay, so that pretty much wraps it up for me. Leave a comment down below. What did you think of Sleepaway Camp 2? Do you like it more than 1? I do see that some people like it more than 1. I originally did last year. I don't know if I do now after the second rewatch. I would have to think about that. I definitely think the first one definitely has a little bit more oomph to the movie. This one definitely has a lot more cheese. So it matters if you like the oomph or you like the cheese. What does that mean? I don't know. I'm stumbling over my words because I'm just saying random things right now. The point is, I want you to comment on this video what you think, and I want you to like, and I want you to subscribe, all that good stuff, right? So cool. That's it. I'm out. Subscribe.